what are some good habits you guys have? And I guess let's first talk about how do you form habits, whether that's good or bad. Randy, I know you know a lot about this.
Yeah, so I did some research, some leg work on this one. Yesterday was leg day, but this was leg work.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So when you're talking about forming a habit, so basically what happens is there's some sort of cue, right? So it's something that happens during your day that makes you want to do something or makes you have to do something. For instance, if you talk about like a morning routine, when you get up, one of your cues after getting up is brushing your teeth. Or at least I would hope so for most people. So then the cue becomes a routine, and then it becomes a habit because there's some sort of reward. So if we use the same, example of brushing your teeth, your cue is when you get up. The activity is brushing your teeth. The reward is you don't get cavities and your teeth don't run out of your face.
You're not
and you
stinky.
look like a hillbilly from the Deep South. Sorry, Deep South listeners.
Whoa.
But yeah, so that's kind of how you form a habit. And then depending on what the reward is kind of like how quickly or how you sustain that habit. Like how quickly it becomes a habit and how quickly you sustain it is based on the reward you get from it.
Okay, so it's all subconscious, or is it all like conscious?
I think habits become subconscious after you develop them.
Yeah, but you can consciously try and develop them at the beginning.
Exactly.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So I read a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is based on an article from the University of North Carolina, which we will link in the description below. Yes, Chris is pointing. Joe's pointing. Talon, you going to point? We get this out of the way.
I'll do it just because everyone else
Thank
is.
you. Cool. Great. Your habits are based around your rewards, and you can implement rewards yourself if you want to change your habits. So one thing, like they actually use an example about studying and going to Starbucks with your friends. So basically what they said is after class, you go to Starbucks with your friends. That's the current habit. And then what ends up happening is because of that current habit, you don't get your study habits in. So they said the cue is when you leave school, the habit is going to Starbucks, and the quote unquote reward. So the reward is technically getting to spend time with your friends, but the issue with the reward is you're not studying as much as you should be. So some of the solutions that they had come up with for this particular situation was that either you convince your friends to go to the library with you, you get some study time in, and then your reward is going to Starbucks afterwards. And then you get to hang out with your friends, and then you've studied. Or you take it upon yourself to go to the library, do your studying, and then your reward again is to go to Starbucks and hang out with your friends afterward. So now what that comes down to, and this actually comes down to a previous episode of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. What's your motivation for that particular activity? Do I need my friends to go with me to the library in order for me to actually do it, or will I actually go and do it on my own? Yeah, Chris is shaking his head.
I'm definitely, hey, come with me.
So let's talk. Let's get into something right now. Like, let's maybe like Joe. Joe, what's a habit that you would like to change?
Ooh, a bad habit that I would like to change. Ooh, probably eating out.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
Going
an
out
easy
to buy
one.
Food. That is a very easy one to change.
Well,
Right,
it's
so
an
maybe-
easy one to form. The reward is the food, so like it's a very strong reward.
So here's
exactly.
Here's where you have to start. What's your cue that you go? What is the reason? You have to first identify the reason why you're going and doing what you're doing.
So the reason why is because it's quick and easy, right?
Okay.
So like
quick and
lunchtime
dirty
comes around. Exactly. Lunchtime comes around, or I'm going into work. It's just like I get to sleep in later because I could just go out, get some food real quick, and then just go into work, not think about anything.
Right. So here I would say be your avenues that you could take. Number one, you could get yourself up earlier and make sure you have time to make food. Or another thing you could do if you think that sleeping in is more important to you is take time during the week and meal prep so that you have food for during the week. Going back to our diet episode. Ooh,
Weird.
tied it in.
Hell yeah, brother.
So yeah, that's two ways you can do it. And then that after a while, after you've done this enough times, it becomes a routine. And your reward is you get to eat better food, you feel better, you look better, and you're not having to go out and you're spending less money. Financial minimalism, another episode we've done. Go check them out.
Look at us.
So
We're tying them all
you
in
got your
today.
So for this example, Joe would have to create these new habits of either waking up early, making food, or meal prepping. So it would be adding those new habits to his his routine to then break that habit that he wants to break. So he can't just break that habit. He has to create new habits to get to that point.
Exactly. And in order to do that, you have to identify, again, you have to identify the cue, you have to identify the routine, you have to identify the reward. You have to know what is causing you to do this. You have to identify what your current routine is, which Joe's done. He said he sleeps in, he doesn't have time, so he just grabs some food on the way into work. And then you have to identify what your reward is going to be. And you have to make sure it's going to be, is the reward going to be worth your while? Because if the reward isn't something that's worth your while, you're not going to stick to it. You're going to do it for a couple weeks. So that was actually one of the statistics they brought up in the article. Thanks for watching. If you like this clip and want to see more, click the link below or head over to our channel, like, subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell icon so you can stay up to date on the most current lessons learned content. See ya!